This video is brought to you by Soundcore. The Soundcore Motion 300 is a solid little beast of a speaker with a retail price of $79. You're definitely getting your money's worth. And to show that worth, I'll be comparing it to the JBL Charge 5 because it's more than double the price, but the Motion 300 gets seriously close in overall quality and in a lot of ways is superior. So let's start with the build of the speakers. The Motion 300 have 3 colors to choose from. I've got the black version and it looks slick. It's a super solid build. Rubber feet on the back and the bottom with a slightly speckled, smooth silicone finish all the way around and a metal grille on the front with a metal look. It does feel a little bit cheap, but it looks good. Compared to the Charge, the build quality feels on par and the 300 is lighter at 770 grams where the Charge 5 is just under a kilo. But a huge advantage of the 300 is the detachable strap. So you can hang it wherever you find a spot, on a tent, your bag. I've just left mine hanging in the shower and my enjoyment of showering has doubled. And there's no issue if it gets wet with its IPX7 waterproof rating. It just has no dust resistance, which would have been nice to see because the Charge 5 does have an IP67 rating. The only issue with that strap is the clipping mechanism. It needs a pretty strong pull to detach, but I feel like that's needed to hold the weight of the speaker, so fair enough. Now you get nice physical button controls on the top. You can control everything, play, pause, tracks forward and back, volume up and down, as well as activating your voice assistant. Because the speaker has a microphone built in, so you could actually take phone calls on it. Here's what it's gonna sound like. All right, so this is what the microphone sounds like about 30 centimeters away from the speaker. And this is what the microphone sounds like about 1 meter away from the speaker. And you can also adjust the brightness of those physical buttons or just turn it off completely. Now the battery life here is pretty solid considering its size. You get an advertised 13 hours. Now the Charge 5 has an advertised 20 hours, but it is larger and a heavier speaker. And both charge via USB-C and both don't have an auxiliary input. Both speakers do automatically power off and you can adjust how long that takes in the Soundcore app. Now when it comes to connectivity, the Charge 5 only has Bluetooth 5.1 and the SBC codec, so not the best, but the Motion 300 gives you Bluetooth 5.3, SBC, AAC, as well as LDAC high-res audio. So that's gonna give you a small improvement even if you don't use high-quality streaming services, but if you use something like Tidal or Apple Music, that'll increase the sound quality by another couple of percent. It's not huge, but it does make a small difference. Now the Motion 300 does have multi-point connection, so you can connect 2 devices to the speaker at the same time, and you can't do this on the Charge 5. Both speakers allow you to pair 2 at the same time and play in stereo mode. And I do have 2 Charge 5 speakers. And when you chuck those in stereo mode, the sound is seriously impressive. So sadly, I only have 1 Motion 300, but if you do get 2 of those, you're gonna be paying less than half the price of 1 Charge 5. And the sound, I can tell you now, will easily blow away 1 Charge 5. But now with that, let's go into how these speakers sound. And both speakers are pumping out some seriously impressive sound considering their relatively small size. So with the Motion 300, you get a rich bass response, a smooth mid-range, so vocals are natural but have great clarity, and the treble is boosted enough so you get nice detail, but it doesn't get harsh at all, which is an issue with the Charge 5. Mainly at those high volumes, the treble can get a bit piercing. Despite that though, the Charge does sound slightly better with slightly better instrument separation, but it's the bass that is a bigger difference. You get more sub bass at lower as well as higher volumes. The Charge 5 also goes slightly louder at max volume, but only by about 1 decibel, so it's not a huge difference there. And this is all kind of expected. It's a larger speaker. It goes to 40 watts, where the Motion 300, it's smaller and it peaks at 30 watts. But the Motion 300 has 3 pretty major features that really separates itself from the Charge 5. But before we talk about those 3 features, let's go into some sound samples so you can hear the subtle differences between the 2 speakers. All right, now let's talk about those three big differences. The first is LDAC high res. As I mentioned it before, not a huge difference, but that's gonna give you a slight improvement in your sound quality compared to SBC that the Charge 5 has. The second though is the EQ customization, because the Charge 5 gives you a pretty simple 3-band EQ. You don't get too much freedom there. Where with the Motion 300, you get a 9-band EQ and you can actually adjust a specific frequency of each of those 9 bands. Pretty impressive stuff, but the third and definitely most impressive feature is the Smart Tune technology. So this will actually change the sound of the speaker, whether you have it hanging, lying on its back, or facing towards you. So when you have it hanging somewhere, it's gonna boost the volume slightly. When you have it directly towards you, it's just gonna play in regular stereo mode. But the most impressive feature here is when you have it lying down on its back, it's actually gonna boost the mids and trebles slightly and kind of recreate a more 360-degree audio sound. So that will work great when you've got a speaker in the middle of a room. You're gonna be able to hear the sound a bit clearer. Where with a speaker like the Charge 5, it's really only designed to play music directly towards you. So a pretty impressive feature. You don't really see innovations like this too much in the speaker or earbud world, so nicely done Soundcore. So when you add all of this up, the compact size, the strap, LDAC, EQ, and the Smart Tune technology, this is a pretty flawless product. Only real issue is the lack of the auxiliary input, but apart from that, definitely worth the money. So Soundcore is killing it as usual, and if you want to see more on Soundcore, be sure to check out my Liberty 4 NC review. Still one of the best earbuds you can get under $100. So check that out. In the meantime, stay picky. I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.